Hello there. How's everyone doing? All right. Sweet. Oh, cool. I think I'm doing everything right. But if anybody is not hearing me clearly, I'll try to say this as regularly as possible. Please let me know if I need to speak up at any time or if I'm cutting out in any way. I'll do my best to adapt. Other than that, good evening. Happy Friday. What is up? We're going to meditate. It's going to be awesome. Cool. Hopefully we'll be able to cut this out for a YouTube video. I don't know. Anyway. I'm going to start standing. I don't know who's on the other side, but hello. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to probably do just a little bit of movement on the camera just to get myself fully into the space with y'all. If anybody's watching, feel free to join in. Oh, yeah. Just thought one thing that I need to do real quick. Feel deeply technological with a phone by a laptop. Feels almost dirty in the dojo space. I have to make sure that I'm going to plug somebody the right way. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Meditation with me. If anybody's watching this in the not too distant future, I hope. I am very grateful to you for joining in for a little bit of meditation. I want to be explicit starting off this evening. My hope very much is for this class, this type of class, to build on top of itself over a series of months, ideally. And I'm very interested in getting feedback about this class in particular. I also want to plug that we're going to be using these little chimes in our video. We use them in our daily meditation practice, and we think they're kind of cool. Each one of the colors is tuned to a different frequency, and they are made by Accutonic, but we get them from a woman named Care Motika. I think I might be ruining that name just a bit at the end there. But they have really become super cool tools for contemplating vibration and just kind of beginning and ending meditation periods. So I'm going to kind of periodically be using these. And other than that, I am very much hoping that meditation practice in this crazy time is able to serve people in their day-to-day lives. And so it is very much my hope to just offer classes like this that are really able to address what people are needing from meditation. Very interested in finding ways of getting meditation into people's lives and into this space. So thank you very much. We are going to start tonight's meditation off with specifically a guided meditation. And so a guided meditation for me is always going to be something that we're engaging with in a position that feels comfortable to us. I'm not necessarily here to police at this point things about posture and otherwise. I'm more hoping that we'll all take a moment or a series of moments to check in, enter the space fully, kind of join with the spirit of meditation, right? Getting into that receptive place. And hopefully by doing so, be able to get a sense of what our bodies, what our systems, what our minds, what our hearts are needing in this moment. And be able to really track that baseline as we go. And so I really want to highlight that aspect of baseline as we go through our class. And that's going to be something that we're always going to be trying to come back to as we're shifting into and out of a meditative state, taking a moment, shifting ourselves and going into a slightly different meditative state so that we can kind of for ourselves track over a period of time how things might be changing for us as we play with the different techniques. So our guided meditation can find us however we are today. Guided meditation can really just be about what you're needing. So I'm going to shift this down so I can sit comfortably. So as we're all resting comfortably. We're going to begin to check in with our breath. Feeling the expansion of the lungs. Feeling the intercostal muscles, the ribs, the solar plexus, pectoral muscles. If we can, even feeling the beating of our own heart. Feeling each breath as a rising and a falling. Feel each breath filling our being, and feel each breath emptying our being. Feeling into the breath filling our abdomen. Feeling the breath fill our chest cavity. And not just forward, we want to try to check in with the sensations along the side of our body, the sensations into the rear of our body, feeling the full expansion of the lungs. And releasing. And just experiencing one extreme and the other extreme. Noticing the speed of our breathing. Noticing the speed of our heart in our chest. Just noticing. Feeling the sensations of our throat, the sensations of our jaw, sensations of our mouth. Feeling the breath slowly move through the nose or the mouth as it enters the body, and feel it leave, allowing this process to become as smooth and as seamless as we can make it. Allowing the sensations present to be as they are. As we now feel fullness of our breath and our breathing, our awareness travels to the bottom of our feet. Noticing the feelings and the sensation of this area and aspect of our body. noticing the tops of our feet. Feeling the air on our skin. Feeling the fullness of each toe. With our full, deep, relaxing breath, our awareness moves from the foot into the ankle, experiencing the relationship of the foot to the leg. Is movement being asked for by the joint? Allowing our awareness to come into our calf, our shin, and the bones of the lower leg. Just allowing our awareness to rest there. Breathing deeply, feeling as much as we can relaxation and connection. Allowing our awareness to move up to our knee. Feeling the relationship of the lower leg to the upper leg. Feeling the joint of the knee and seeing if movement is being asked for in the joint. Inviting movement in and noticing what arises. Our awareness moves to our upper leg, our thigh, hamstrings, the outside and the insides of our legs. Just allowing our awareness to go as deeply inside the muscles and the bones as we can. Allowing sensation to just stay in the legs. Our awareness moves up to our hips. Noticing the relationship of the legs to the torso. Feeling the glutes, the front of the hips, side of the hips. Noticing everything that is present. Allowing your awareness, your field of sensation to remain focused and relaxed. Feeling now the muscles of our abdomen, the sides of our body, and our lower back. However we're holding our body right now, noticing the relationship of the lower back to the tailbone allowing us to just notice what's real, allowing our awareness to connect to the whole of the spine, elongating gently toward the tailbone, gently toward the crown, allowing our awareness to permeate the entire spine, allowing ourselves to feel the relationship of top and bottom, the relating of the stretch as we're suspended gently between the top and bottoms of our body. Relaxing our abdomen as much as we can. Really allowing some time on our belly. Each breath in and each breath out. We release any tension we might notice in our abdomen. We release any tension which is present. And that quality of releasing, that quality of falling, dropping, sighing, if we find that sensation to be helpful. When we feel ready to leave our abdomen with the fullness of our awareness, we come up to our chest, our upper back, and our shoulders. Just coming into a gentle awareness how all the different muscles are in relationship to one another. Feeling underneath the armpits, the fullness of the chest, the lower, the middle, and the upper musculature, up to the collarbone. The connection of our shoulders and our necks. Feeling how the chest, the shoulder, the neck are all in relationship to one another. Feel how the muscles of the upper back are relating to the shoulders, are relating to the chest, are relating to the neck. And feeling how our neck sitting on our shoulders is relating to our chest, our back, our neck. Feeling the fullness of our musculature in relationship to itself. Noticing the muscles of the face, the muscles of the eyes. Connecting it back to our awareness of our breathing. of our nose, of our mouth, our lungs, our heart. Feeling the wholeness, the fullness of our torso, of our respiratory system. Feeling it all connected as one pattern of awareness. Beautiful. So we're going to allow ourselves now, in this moment, bring our awareness to the ends of our fingers, to the bottoms of our feet, to the top of our head, to the bottom of our tailbone. For those of us who are following along with the theme of the overall class, we're all going to come back to an awareness of our awareness of our baseline. Those of us who are continuing with this process of meditation, bringing ourselves back into the fullness, maybe of our mind, right? Not just of our physical form now. Allowing our minds to fully be present, allowing the aperture of our eyes to focus on our peripheral vision, above and below, left and right. If we feel called to maybe do something with our hands, following out, following in, following out, following in, following up, following in, following down, following in, boom, kind of touching the top, snapping. I like to just snap, sorry. And just checking out how far we can catch with our visual acuity. Back to our centered, grounded, relaxed, calm awareness. Beautiful. So that was a little bit long of a guided meditation, but what I want us to do is begin to settle ourselves in for seated meditation now. I'm going to shift back from the camera. Please, ideally, find a place that you can be seated in a way that is comfortable. I'm going to give a little bit of a orientation to Seiza, sitting in kneeling position. And a little bit of an orientation of our body to this position as a way of connecting us with the meditation. And the more that we work into the posture of seated meditation, the more we really do kind of understand that we want to be able to sit however we need to sit. So we can also check in with our half lotus, our lotus, just cross-legged. We can sit with our legs out, our legs butterflied, however we need to feel comfortable sitting. Sometimes that's going to require us to shift positions mid-meditation. Sometimes this is going to ask us to get a chair and sit in it and have that all be okay. And so as we're stepping into our seated meditation, really taking stock of our seat is really what we're going to do. Just like we were taking stock of everything's relationship to us before with our guided meditation. We're just coming into this place, checking in with our seat, using the tool of our breath, using the tool of our breath. We don't want to make it more complicated than just checking in with what our body needs. If I need to move a little bit, right? If I need to reset a little bit, I reset a little bit. And I come back. If that means, oh man, where'd I go? That's okay. You do that. This is going to be a little weird for me because I'm relating to people in total silence, just sitting here. And so thank you very much if you're still joining me for this portion of our evening, our class. I'm going to set a timer, and I'm going to use our cool little bell, our chime, to start and finish the meditation. This chime vibration is aligned with the energy of the new moon, is how we use it. And so with that energy, we want to try to allow ourselves, if we're just going to be engaging with our breath and need something to do with our imaginative cognitive capacity, right? Sometimes we just need something to do. We can count our breaths. That's always going to be a good trick. And we can also connect to this energy of releasing downward, draining downward, kind of in alignment with this chime of the new moon. So once we're in a spot where we feel our relationship to our seat is aligned and how we would like to begin, going to begin a 10-minute period of meditation. If you don't want to do 10 minutes meditation and you're watching this later, I highly recommend just doing it as long as you want and then skipping to the next section. That's totally fine. If you're joining me and you need to get up and move around, get up and move around. It's totally okay. And we're going to begin the 10 minutes with a chime. As we sit, whatever position we find ourselves, we first begin to relate the ground where contact points to the floor. We want to become aware of our legs' relationships to our body. Becoming aware of our hips' relationship to our legs, our hips' relationship to our abdomen and our spine. Becoming aware of our shoulders' relationship to our spine, to our head, to our torso, to our hands, to our legs. Aware of our neck's relationship to our head, to our torso, to our legs, to our shoulders, to our arms. What is our head's relationship to our bodies? What is our relationship to our breath? What is our breath's relationship to our bodies? allowing ourselves to, again, focus our eyes, if we choose to open them, on the periphery of our vision, up and down, left and right, moving both our eyes to the left, moving both our eyes to the right, moving both our eyes up, moving both our eyes down, centering our vision, focusing ourselves on a single object if that feels comfortable. Bringing ourselves back to a awareness of our baseline, an awareness to ourselves in all of our aspects. How's our body feeling? How is our mind feeling? How is our heart feeling? Just bringing ourselves into an awareness of what is. So if you're going to be joining us now for the standing aspect of our meditation, I'll probably mess with my camera for a moment. And so we're going to want to make sure that if we're going to join for standing meditation, that feels okay. And what that also means is that we're going to want to listen to ourselves if it stops being okay. Similar to the seated meditation, if this is really difficult for you, but you'd like to get into the walking meditation, feel free to just skip this section or go as long as you can until it feels like it's time to skip the rest of the section. I'd love for everybody who is able to join to begin to come into an awareness of your relationship to gravity. Begin to come into an awareness of your relationship to gravity. Let's see how well I can do this. Of course, we did set it up earlier. So, standing meditation now. Just as we've been doing with our previous sections of meditation, we're going to begin with an awareness of our contact with the ground. We're going to begin to come into relationship with gravity as a relationship to the floor. Gravity is always acting on us. And so as we stand tonight, similar to how we were focusing on our awareness of our posture in relationship to our seat, to our function of keeping ourselves erect. Now, in standing meditation, we're going to try to pay special attention to our equalizing of front, back, left, right, up, and down aspects of our relationship to our whole body and our whole being. And it's going to be that awareness that's going to direct our work tonight. We're going to do another 10-minute section, just being with standing. And similarly, I'm going to give us every minute or so some prompts until I let us be with the sensations. We're going to use a different chime now, which is going to be focused to the energy of the full moon. Just becoming aware of how you're relating to gravity. Noticing how the weight of our body is settling into our feet. Are we too far forward, too far backward? Too far left or too far right? Coming into an awareness of our knees, our hips. How are they absorbing the weight of our body, relating to our feet? Checking in with our tailbone's relationship to our legs and our relationship to our feet. How is everything dealing with gravity and with the weight of our body? Checking in with our relationship to the chest cavity and how the muscles surrounding the ribs are all relating to one another. The breath, the abdomen, the spine, the legs, and the floor. Checking in with our relationship to our shoulders, our arms, our hands. Similar to our feet, we can check in with the relationship of our shoulders to front, back, out and in, left and right, and our relationship in our arms, any tension that we might be holding, any resistance we might be adding to the rest of our body through our relationships to our arms. Our arms can be integrated more into the whole of our torso. Feeling how much they guide our experience of standing. And feeling how the wholeness of the body now rises up from the floor to support the skull, to support the brain, the face, the sense organs of the face, sense organs of the skull. Feeling the totality of our being. Feeling the back of our skulls rise up from our upper back, elongating the crown of the skull up now toward the sky. Suspended between the floor and the sky. So, for those of us still with us, I don't want to rush us into a position where we feel like we can achieve restfulness for just a moment. I'll rejoin us in Cesar. Again, awareness, center, left, right, up, down, up, down. Pulling ourselves back to a centered, focused awareness. As we're relating to our meditation practice up till now, there's a sense, an overriding sense of stillness. There's an overriding sense of stillness. So we don't want to rush into movement. And so, in order to shift this sense of stillness that we've been working so hard, so diligently to hold, we're going to shift now from an awareness of our belly. Our belly and our waist in particular. Most of our movement is going to move from this aspect of the center of our mass. We're going to use a different chime focused or tuned to the energy of the sun. We're going to begin to walk. We're going to do this in 3 different sections. But always, our awareness is going to move from our belly. We're going to walk in 3 different ways for 3 minutes apart or a piece. I have a fairly small area, so I'm just going to walk in a circle. There's no need to worry about how you're walking. You can be walking back and forth across a room. You can be walking, pacing to and through the house, whatever you need. You can be walking in your backyard. You could even be going on a walk outside. But I warn you, you might look somewhat ridiculous. So I'll just leave that to you. The first way that we are going to walk for 3 minutes is going to be just natural walking. How do you walk without any prompting? How has what you have come into relationship over our previous series of meditations brought you now into an awareness of your body at this point of baseline into an energy of walking, allowing our awareness as much as we can to remain in the belly, relaxed, full, engaged now in movement. All right. So the next type of walking we're going to try to engage in is just going to be falling walking. We're going to be thinking about heel, toe, gently bringing our foot forward, and then gently feeling like we're falling into the front foot. However, we need to shift. Boom, boom, boom. Oldest trick in the book. And so, again, still kind of just falling from an awareness to our relationship to gravity and our relationship to our center of mass, relationship to the floor, relationship to our breath. For the brave, the relationship to our thoughts. Falling, walking, falling. Again, I'm going to be walking in a circle. However, we need to pace away, my friends. Okay, Great. For those of us who want to move on to the third and final pattern of walking, we're going to kind of think about this as reaching and pulling, reaching and pulling. Again, walking from our center, reaching with our toes, pulling ourselves forward, reaching, not even necessarily so much with our toes, but kind of as the balls of our feet extending through the toes. You can almost imagine it like a feline sort of walking. Relating from that center of gravity still. Again, I'm going to be walking around in a circle. If you feel comfortable and open, coming from this place of baseline, coming from this place of centered awareness, walking from our center of gravity. And again, for the brave, checking in with what our thoughts are. What's the conversation we're having with ourselves like? Releasing and relaxing that belly as much as we can. One of the tricky things is engaging the belly, or engaging the belly just enough so that the tailbone can tuck while not over tensing the belly, right? And that's one of those fine motor details that takes time to find. And the relationship changes, right? Depending on the type of day you had today. So, we want to try to be nice to ourselves, ideally. So for those of us who are still here and around, thank you so much. Love to bring our awareness left and right, up and down, left and right, up and down. As a runner, I tend to have a lot of fun kind of getting into the flow of walking. Noticing how our bodies are relating to gravity through movement, through contact and release with the ground is just a constant exploration. And so we want to really allow for the awkwardness of paying attention to something you do a lot, right? Allow for the awkwardness of something you do a lot. Whenever we're putting a lot of focus into something, we notice it in a way that makes us, I think at least, can invite a level of self-consciousness sometimes that can be stressful for people. And I think that stresses us out. And so meditation becomes a place of stress rather than a place of connection to what's going on. And we want to try to let all of that be okay. We notice we tend to go a little bit more out on one edge or the other edge of a foot. Just come back to center. If we find ourselves, locking a knee or locking a hip or find ourselves hurting a little bit, first we just want to notice. And then, how can me coming into deeper relationship with this thing help me to feel more in myself, right? In a way that allows me to equalize front and back, left and right, in and out, twisting and untwisting, right? Some of us will have relationships to the opening of our hips that are different than others. Sometimes we can close, sometimes we can open. We want to align ourselves as much as we can in our personal practice with our hips, right? Our hips and our feet kind of parallel to one another or as close to parallel as we can, relating to the direction we're moving in a dynamic way. Because everybody's going to be playing to try to find that neutral so that we're all relating perfectly to gravity. Because none of these things are good or bad. It's just about protecting your body over time. And so when we think about that as the framework for a lot of this, it's easy to kind of get the gist of it through something like self-occupational therapy, right? I'm relearning how to sit, how to breathe, how to bring myself into centered awareness, how to stand, how to breathe, how to come into a centered awareness, how to walk, how to breathe, how to come into a centered awareness. And so hopefully sitting, standing, and walking meditation, things that we do all the time, can really enrich our lives, right? Every step we take is an opportunity to practice walking meditation. Every time we're standing still is an opportunity to practice standing meditation. Every time we're seated is an opportunity to practice seated meditation. And so this, if you've stayed till the end, this feels like the end credits of the Marvel movie, right? Which is integrate, integrate, integrate. Make this yours. Make this your life's play. Make this your life's play. To be in your body in a way which doesn't hurt you as much as possible as a result of skillful relationship to posture and gravity. as a skillful relationship to our thoughts, our inner dialogue, our inner conversation, and the way we do everything else. Um, Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Obviously, about an hour and a half. I'm going to do another 5 or so minutes, just exactly 90 minutes, so a little under, of seated gratitude meditation. For this one, I'm probably going to close my eyes for some portion of it and allow a fullness in my gratitude for my body, for this time I took to be with my body, and myself for being present in this moment. And I invite you to do the same. All right. I want to thank everybody again so much for joining this evening for our meditation session, class, whatever we want to call it. I am, as I said at the beginning, hoping to make this a more regular thing. Would love feedback. If you were able to follow me all the way through the exercises, since I'm being so mindful, I will say, please, if you don't mind, liking and subscribing to Wandering Ministry to kind of get all of the updates about our new website, as well as any classes that myself or Biz might be offering for free. We have decided to start throwing our efforts into supporting the fair people of the internet through this time of isolation and struggle. We are thinking about y'all, and I hope everyone is taking good care of themselves. Thank you very much. See you next time.